talking fool. Yeah, y'all wanna win, let me spin, boy. All dunks aside, I'm super fly like I'm hanging off the rim, boy. I've been winning for my kinfolk, and I put on for my city from the intro. Let's go.
I put that time in, my pride is out the roof, I get that grind in. So I'ma tell the truth, I get my grind on. You know the pressure make all of these diamonds. I tell them get back, step back, fast track, big lap, big facts. I'm past that, yeah. I'm trying to get ahead, get out the way. Now move forward, stand back, now break away. I'm about to bring it on.
I ain't never backing down. Come and step into the play. For my city, for my town. I do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get this round. Oh, I'ma go all of the round. I ain't never backing down. Come and step into the play. For my city, for my town. I do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get this round. Oh, to the top, see the sights, see the sights, see the sights, yeah.
Hop out and I'm scheming, ride around and I'm dreaming. Once I get the feeling, nobody can stop me. Hit it, I'm on gold, fanning all you foes. Once I'm on the road, I'm knocking out of the door. I got the range, if you wanna come and stand up to me, pull up on me now. If you wanna challenge, tell me rookie, run up on me now. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back.
I ain't never backing down. Come and step into the play. For my city, for my town. I do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get this round. Oh, I'ma go all of the round. I ain't never backing down. Come and step into the play. For my city, for my town. I do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get this round. Oh, to the top, see the sights, see the sights, see the sights, yeah.
Yeah, we going up.
won't know what hit you.
Let me have some fun.
Let's get this mission started. This will be a good fight. Got you in my sights. So true. Neutralized. Come on. Predictable. Time to end this. Fire. Double. I'm just on another level.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sets here on Capcom Fighters on a Monday evening. I was about to say Monday night, but it is summertime, so it's actually still quite bright outside, still daylight. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your summer wherever you are in the world. It is quite, hot. And in other areas, it is quite humid, so make sure you stay hydrated. You know that Twitch command they put in the chats. Stay hydrated, keep staying hydrated, keep on gaming. But yes, we're here for another exciting episode of Sets here on Capcom Fighters. This is the place to be. You know how it goes on every Monday night. I will be your host tonight, once again, Jammerz. And alongside me, we've still got this lovely taunt. I still think this is the greatest taunt they've done in a Street Fighter game for quite some time now. So it's great to see the game is not that far away. They said it's coming out next year, 2023, so Street Fighter 6. It can't come soon enough. I'm slowly getting more excited about the game because we're getting closer to the time. I know I'm not going to blink in 2023, but anyway, I can't talk about this game and fantasize about it all by myself. I'm going to be joined by my co-hosts tonight, or should I say one of them, because we actually don't have one of them tonight. So I will be joined by good old Veggey will be with me tonight. We have no Olvaha tonight because he is ill, so hopefully we wish Olvaha nothing but a speedy recovery, and he should be with us by the time of the next episode. But I can still relish in the moment regarding more Street Fighter 6 footage, which we will show shortly with you. So Veggey, how are you feeling today, first of all? You ready for another good episidode?
I'm feeling really good. I'm definitely ready for this episode. When we lined it up, I thought we were going to have, or I still think, so I didn't just think back then. I still think that we have that we have two people who will bring like more than just the gameplay. Will also bring the fun banter. We'll see as they come on. It's just that impression I have of them after seeing them online, seeing them stream or talk at streams and stuff. So I think we're going to have more than just great gameplay. We're going to have a great banter as well, which we often do. And I just wanted to ask you a question, Jammerz, since you mentioned it is summertime. Where in the world is it winter right now? Do you know that? You can think of it. Think about it.
I don't want to say. I really don't want to say your country. Because
no, definitely not. Why?
No, because that felt like a trick question. I don't want to say something too obvious, but we actually did have a bit of rain on yesterday and Saturday. Actually, we did, despite it having. We had the hottest day of the year in the UK on Friday, and then we had showers on Saturday. I really couldn't tell you right now. Do you know?
I think I know, but I thought maybe you would wait a bit with answering, so I could Google
so
just to double
you don't know? You asked me?
I think I know, but I don't want to be like quoted on spreading misinformation. But I would be confident in saying that it's winter in Australia right now.
No, see, I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to say it. You make me say it instead. That's not good.
No, because I know they have
this
their...
guy.
No, hold on. I know they have their winter break, I think at the start of the year, January or something. Their whole,
exactly.
How their school year education and whatnot works differently, and their weather as well, because they're pretty much hot 365 days of the year. So I think it's a trick question. If it's not his country, it has to be Australia, but I didn't want to say it, and then you said it, and I was like, well... Whatever.
I think it's wild that you actually thought it could have been my country. We're basically neighbors, Jammerz.
Yeah, but you posed it as if it was a trick question.
Oh, okay. That was not intentional.
All right, go back and watch it and tell me it's like...
Okay, give me 1 second, okay? I'll be right back.
Whatever. Anyway, Right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We went on a tangent, but yes, we are going to be here talking more about some Street Fighter stuff, as well as getting a lovely exhibition for you guys on today's episode. Richard, first of all, give them the runner show. I need to keep shoving this down your throats and putting it in your faces. We have adjusted the times. We are basically moving everything an hour earlier. That means it's more convenient for us in Europe. Probably some guests we have when we bring on some more Asian guests in the future. Fingers crossed. That means, yes, at 12:15 PST, so 8 hours behind California time. That will be when the show starts, so 8:15 from the UK. And then in about 10 minutes or so from now, we are going to bring in our guest tonight for the guest interview, the pre-match interview after the first to 10. That'll be the post-match interview. Yeah, we're talking to our guests for about 15-20 minutes, as always, of course. And then the first to 10 will begin at 1 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. UK time. We used to start this show at 9 p.m. UK time, but we moved everything an hour earlier because of the convenience for the stream team, as well as other people on our end of the show, of course, with the team that work behind everything. Myself, Veggey Olvaha, the visual platform production team as well, so shouts to those guys. But yes, if you don't want to hear about any preamble talk, or you don't want to hear us go on tangents, then please, you can leave the stream or put it on mute now and come back at 9 o'clock or 1 p.m. PST. That'll be in about, or come back in about 37 minutes. Basically, come back in about 37 minutes. There'll be some games on your screen there. Now, for those of you who don't know, Olvaha is one of our co-hosts. He's been with us for over a year now. No, just
Not
under
over.
a year.
Yeah.
Just under
Yeah,
a
yeah.
year. Sorry, my mistake. He's been with us for just under a year. It was his birthday yesterday. Now, unfortunately, he is ill. So he had to celebrate his birthday in isolation. But yes, 1 year wiser. I believe he's 31 now. I think that's right. I could
Young
be
lad.
wrong. Yeah, he's 31 years young. But yes, if you want to put in the chat, happy birthday, Olvaha, he'll be seeing this. You can leave it in the comments in the YouTube section as well, or you go hit him on Twitter. Hit him up on Twitter, at Olvaha on Twitter, and just let him know happy birthday. Hopefully you had a decent day, because obviously he was ill, so he couldn't do exactly what he wanted. But yes, it was
Fun fact about that, Jammerz.
Talk to me.
He's been staying healthy, kept the COVID away until the day he went on vacation. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just so unfortunate.
Do you know what's crazy? Here's the thing. Before we actually get into the meat and bones of what we did today, it's if you manage to avoid COVID or getting sick for the past year and a half and 2 years, that's good and bad. Because it's good because you didn't get sick as to what was causing the world a lot of problems. It's bad because your body doesn't know what it is, so it hasn't developed antibodies and it hasn't developed some sort of immune system towards it. So when you get hit with something new, you're going to be out for an extended period of time. Usually these things go over about 4 to 5 days, but you might be going on about a week, maybe to 11 days, if it's something unknown that you haven't seen. So, because I know some people myself that have avoided COVID, they've still avoided it, and I'm like, you know what, more power to you. But if something catches you, I don't know. So here's hoping. But yeah, happy birthday, Olvaha, and he will be with us on the next show, which I will talk about that at the end of the show as to what will be happening for the future as well. Now,
But Jammerz, we also need to sing a happy birthday song.
you can do it.
Okay. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Olvaha, do-do-do-doon. Happy birthday to you, and many more. I think you should have joined me, but it's
No, I wanted to see how you sing because I guarantee that's how you sing to your son every time it's his birthday. So I wanted to score. That was an 11 out of 10. That was a legit 11 out of 10.
Wow.
Birthday cake, hat, candle, everything. He does this more than once. Believe me about that. But yes, all right. Cool. Now we got to move on swiftly before these guys come in. We mentioned that we do have a guest interview. You guys did see it announced on Capcom Fights because there was no CBT action over the weekend. Richard rolled the fight card and let the people know what our good old host Veggey managed to set up for us. Yes, we got Capcom Cup qualified Midwest champion JustaKid joining us, and he will be going up against, I personally think, one of the best content creators in the FGC. Personal opinion of mine, Docta Afrikan. He has been around, and we'll get onto that when we do speak to these guys. But yes, Docta Afrikan is a formidable opponent. He's very strong in his own right, and again, very vocal and very knowledgeable about fighting games and just stuff that he gets on within his life in general. So it's good to have him on. This will be great to see. So, what are we expecting? Jury versus Bison, Veggey? Is that what you think?
That is what I'm expecting, Jammerz. I mean, we've seen JustaKid pull out Rashid, but I think that was when he wasn't truly believing in Jury yet. Then it was also before the latest batch of Jury changes in the CPT last year. And Docta Afrikan, we saw him in top 8 at one of the US premieres offline, where against Punk he went away from his Bison pick and went for Claw, which I believe was his original main in Street Fighter V. He can correct me if I'm wrong later. He definitely played the character a lot, so they're both capable and formidable with more than one character. But I mean, both Jury and Bison, such strong characters, I wouldn't see why they would change unless there's something matchup specific that we don't know of. I remember that the European Jury Gecko managed to beat Problem X's Bison already all the way back in 2018, so I know
this was one of the ranking events.
Yeah, one of the ranking events, so it's not like I would expect it to be impossible for either one of these characters, and then Problem X won like the run back or something like that at a later tournament. But we see that these characters, and I don't know about if Bison is really powered up since then, but he's probably powered down a little bit, but Jury has been powered up, so whatever we get from characters, I think we are in for a treat. And I mean, we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm counting on the Bison versus Jury. That's what I'm hoping for as well.
Fingers crossed we get that indeed. Now,
cross the fingers.
Obviously, that is with Street Fighter V talk. We will get back on Street Fighter V talk when we get to our guests. But there has been more footage of Street Fighter 6 in the past week that's been released, and I had to make sure we were allowed to use this footage because I don't want us getting in trouble. I don't want anyone getting in trouble and losing their job because I wanted to use something that we shouldn't have used. But we did get permission. Richard, can you roll that footage, please, of Lord Gully? I think that's how you pronounce his name in the streets these days, but yes. So the Capcom development team, they did actually release some footage of Guile being played. I'm pretty sure some content creators have looked at this and gave their own opinion on this. So this is Guile in action if you haven't seen it already. I'm actually pretty impressed that, again, they've made Sonic Cross an actual move instead of, because it was his V-skill in Street Fighter V, or is his V-skill in Street Fighter V. They've made this an actual move. They're showcasing more of the drive gauge as well. I think there was an image that was put on the internet by Hi-Fi, or a screenshot somewhere. I'm not sure if it is in this clip specifically, but Guile has an anti-air Sonic Hurricane now. Is that right? Have you seen it, Veggey, at all?
Yeah, I saw there was like a video clip, I think also from Hi-Fi. He clipped one of these like developer streams or something like that, or one of the people who were allowed to test the game and stream and make content of it. I'm not sure which, but either way, people were like, I saw a lot of people saying, why would you give him an anti-air Sonic Hurricane? And I'm thinking, he's always had an anti-air Sonic Hurricane. Even though it was on the ground, it would still anti-air. So I think that's just more flashy and cool that he has one specifically designed to go into the air.
Ah, there it is.
So I don't know what you mean. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but that's interesting because that looks similar to Dalsim's Yoga Sunburst in Street Fighter V. So crouches can somehow avoid it. You might be able to sweep that if he does that one. But obviously, we were talking about this before, and I'm pretty sure other people mentioned it. Sonic Hurricane could anti-air in general. I guess it's just a more consistent thing or used for something else. It'll be pretty interesting to see. There was also the thing of Veggey, I'm pretty sure you were speaking about this with some people as well. Guile has basically a perfect Sonic boom, shall we say, which is I actually wanted to ask you, how do you feel about that? Are you open to the idea of more special moves in Street Fighter, getting like a just frame version or a perfect version, or would you like it to stick to one or two characters, limited to one or two characters?
When I first saw it, I was a bit thinking that this might have been the first thing I didn't like, but the more I thought about it, the more I actually liked it. And sometimes there are things like that with things you see, like at first you're not sure, but then you start to really come around to it. And I just remember that, like, personally, we did 1 frame, 2 frames consistently in Street Fighter 4. So I mean, if it's a 1, or someone said it might be more than 1 frame after doing like a just frame breakdown of the 60 frames per second video. I think it can just be a good thing to add some execution barrier in this skill gap, and not just have the skill gap be based around anti-airs, neutral, but also add some more skill gap in the game on the execution side. I mean, personally, in Street Fighter V, some characters have to do 2-frame combos. Like Fang has his 1-frame timing thing where he has to like do a step.
Jab and then the stand fist.
And Birdie has the stand like extend mini punch, which is a 2-frame thing after his knockdowns. So personally, for me, if it's 2 frames or something around that, I wouldn't personally care. I think it's just great because it would help me distinguish myself more. But I just hope that it won't be something that players who were struggling with Link's in Street Fighter 4 will use that like as a deterrent. So I'm hoping they will be open to it, just the same way that we're open to it, or at least I am. I don't know how you feel about it, Jammerz, but right now I'm positive to it because actually I remember the feeling of being one of the guys who could do his main character's 1 frames and consistently, and that was kind of a thing too, that you had your 1 frames for your main character and maybe your sub. So it might be a good thing. It might be a very good thing. I'm excited for it.
I probably need to see if they're going to give it to more characters, like you know, Cody just frame command grab. They've done a just frame command grab. They've done a just frame special.
Was that 1 frame or 2 frame, by the way, in Street Fighter 5?
I want to say it was 2. I could be wrong. If there's a Cody specialist, please correct me in the chat. Obviously, there was a just frame Tenko, which is a special. Now they do a just frame projectile. Maybe they do just frame more things, or they might switch it up. This might be that new universal thing that they secretly add into the game. And it's, oh yeah, you can have a perfect version. There's more damage, more hit stun, whatever. But it's going to reward execution and be more rewarding in general. But let me leave it open to the chat. How do you guys feel about, you know, the just frame Sonic Boom that Guy will be getting? Do you think it's cool? Do you want to see more execution-based special attacks or moves in the game, or you kind of want it to be limited to 1 or 2 characters? Because I think it's a very interesting thing that we want to hear more opinions about. Also, because I saw in that clip they were using a bunch of the drive system. Richard, do you have that? There you go. There you go. So I'm actually confused about some of these things. So hold on. Obviously, there's 5 or 6 different things. That looks like 5. 5 different things you can use under the drive gauge. Now, drive impact, that's the focus attack, clicking attack. Yeah, that's the 1 bar. Well, that's 1. Damn, that's 1. Oh,
yeah, but it's been said that it's like 27 frames and reactable with your parry, so it doesn't look to be something.
I don't care about the scientifics. I'm worried that that's 1 bar. Okay, well, okay, 1 bar.
It's 1 bar if it says so on the Street Fighter 6 page, Jammerz.
Drive, parry, it continuously drains. It's half a bar. Okay, so that's kind of like V-shift. So you spend half the bar, or you spend the bar, but if successfully get it back. Overdrive, art. Those are the EX moves. Okay, yeah. Those are 2 bars. Oh, so that means reversals are going to cost 2 bars. Combo extensions are going to be 2 bars. Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Extra damage is going to be 2 bars or more if you're someone like Carving that can use multiple EXs.
Okay,
I think that's cool. Cool way to gate it. That you don't just use your meter for more damage or utility, but you also it's part of your entire. Instead of separating defensive, offensive things in different systems, when you decide to go for an offensive action with your overdrive system, you lose access to your defensive options for a while. So it's like you can't have both. You kind of have to choose a bit depending on your matchup or the situation you're in, if you want to keep it for a defensive thing. And I really like that because that will make... I think that will add even more thought to meter management than when you have them separated, when it's more like, I can use this AX bar, I'll get it back, I still have my defensives.
It looks like that's what they're going for with just meter in general. They're giving you more options regarding meter, but it just means you have to manage more. Drive rush is 1 to 3. Hold on, what's that? Perform a quick rush forward from a drive, parry, or a cancelable normal attack. Drive rush from a parry costs 1 drive stock. Okay, so that means you can't do this by itself. You have to do something going into the rush, right? And then while drive rush from a normal attack costs 3 drive stock. Ooh, okay. That's pretty expensive. If I'm thinking about this correct, if you link drive rush with overdrive art, that's 5. That's 5 drive gauges. If something doesn't work out.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the repercussions if that doesn't work out.
If you then get locked down maybe after and you get drained or something. So it is something to consider instead of just always confirming your buttons. Maybe it's not worth doing it this time.
I might just have this like I might have to do this weird mind map thing where you just kind of map out. I might have to actually start watching all the footage to actually put this together, because reading this, I can't. Me as a player, I don't know about you guys. Me as a player, I can't envision a lot of things without the game being in front of me. And I can read this all day, but I can't envision something without it being in front of me, because it just wouldn't make sense to me. Drive reversal being 2, I don't know about that. Actually, no, that makes sense, actually, because you don't want the opponent to have 6 opportunities to do a drive reversal. You want them to have as little as possible. Okay, you know what? Looking at this, I might have to give it a read in my own time and actually try and theorize something, do some theory fine, but that looks very interesting. Again, we've only had 5 characters officially announced
I think so.
For the game, so I would need to see the entire roster and like have the public touch this game, to be honest. Because it's all well and good me and you that, oh, Veggey, you can do this, you can do that, you can theorize this, and it's like, I need to see you know, new players all the way to the average Joe, all the way to like our level, all the way to, you know, Problem X, Phenom, Daigo, Tokido level, just to kind of see how they're utilizing the gauge, you know. So it's a very promising mechanic of the system that the drive system is trying to like give us in Street Fighter 6, but there's not much I can say because we haven't got the game in our hands yet. Hopefully we get something soon this year.
Yeah, I hope so too. Jammerz, I love you, man. I just want to touch on the drive rush, the 3-bar
Quickly,
one.
before we
yeah, quickly. I think that is, to me, just great. It makes it so I think everyone will, even if your character is not really designed around having a normal into a special whiff punish, you can still do it if you have a cancelable normal. So you cancel into the drive rush on a whiff punish maybe, and then go for a combo. It adds more like universal utility to all characters, which I think can make matchups less extreme when more characters have access to things that might not be their archetype, but they can still kind of utilize it. It will be harder to be like a polarizing matchup with the parry to stop maybe extreme zoning or extreme something, and then you have the drive rush. If your character is slow and doesn't really have that with punishability, you still get to do what all characters get to do, just at a cost. I think it's an interesting approach.
I am curious.
Let me hear it, Jammerz.
Before we move on, I am curious because obviously with the drive rush, they kind of duck, weave, and then move forward. I wonder if you can, like, I think Guile's probably an example I can think of this with, but no one's played Guile, so I wonder if you can parry a boom, then drive rush under the rest, and then hit him something. I really
or just get advantage, yeah.
Something.
Or parry something like a Dawson limb and then drive rush and get maybe you're not plus, but you're closer, or maybe you even get like frame advantages. Wow, Jammerz, you just blew my mind.
It's expensive, but like you said, it's like just to get into a range that's more like, you know, comfortable and something to work with, and not make matches more polarizing. Again, it's why I don't like theory fighting like 8 months to a year prior, because there's no point.
You'll have a whole book of things to test.
But listen, the more notes you have, the better. But you know what? We can talk about Street Fighter 6 with our guests and fantasize about it with our guests as well. But yes, you know what? I've held them long enough. We've extended this talk because I love extending the talk about Street Fighter 6. But yes, if we can get our guests for the show tonight, if we can get JustaKid and Docta Afrikan to unmute their mics so we can have a lovely chat with these guys, let them know how they're getting on, and then get ready for these guys to play a first 10. So let me find out. Docta Afrikan, JustaKid, can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time out of your day on Monday to join us on the show, as well as getting yourselves prepared to play for this first to 10. In this first part, obviously, I mentioned it to you before, we have these guys in the green room waiting for you guys at home watching, but they are here, they're ready to talk to us. But this is the first part where we get the pre-match interview underway, just to kind of get them to relax the shoulders a bit, loosen up before they actually just slug it out in the first to 10 and talk to each other about how amazing their characters are. But yeah, you know what? First of all, I gotta direct something at JustaKid, because obviously JustaKid, I didn't say it to you officially, but I want to say congratulations for qualifying for the Cup. I know you've spoken to Rob and Brian, and you've spoken to other people. I'm pretty sure tons of people congratulated you. You spoke about it already. But let me ask you, how does it feel being in the Capcom Cup now? Something you've watched for so long, you've competed in, trying to get there for so long, but now you're going to be attending the finals. How does that feel for you, JustaKid?
It kind of feels, I feel all right now. I mean, it probably won't settle until I'm actually going there to the Cup, wherever it may be. But, you know, I'm actually happy that I'm able to experience the big stage. Like, after watching it for, I think, since 2015?
Long time.
Roughly? Yeah, so since I was 13, I've been dreaming about going to the Cup. But now I'm in the Cup. I'm not like in the LCQ or anything, so it's just pretty nice. But it definitely hasn't settled in for me yet until I get there. That's kind of like how I do with stuff.
Okay, no, I completely understand that as well. Like, I have something similar with Street Fighter 6. Everyone's getting excited for it because obviously it's the game on the horizon. But I can't get super excited until it's 2023, because then I'll know we're much closer to the time. But now, let me ask you this, JustaKid. The scene at large, not just a Street Fighter, the fighting game scene at large, whenever a character wins a major tournament, they become the talk of the town. Your character did become the hot topic of that specific weekend. So I have to ask you, since you are everyone else's backseat gaming at this point, I have to ask you, where does Jury sit in this game? Is she a top 5 character, which some people are claiming her to be, or is she floating around the top 10, or is she maybe a top 15? Where would you place Jury personally?
Well, the weakest I'd probably place her is probably like 14th, like 13th spot of the cast. So she's top 15 for sure.
Okay.
Now, for as strong as she is, I would probably have her like top 10, probably 9th or 10th spot. Okay. But I know a certain Capcom Cup champion says Jury's top 5, and I don't listen to that man because that man does not know what he's talking about. But
Wait,
I think the 2019 one, that nerd who plays poison spamming, yeah, the scammer. Yeah, he thinks Jury's top 5. I mean, I don't know. The man has some hot takes, but it's all opinionated. But his opinion's wrong. But yeah, I think Jury is a very good character, especially she's one of the few characters in this season who only received buffs, like purely buffs. There was no nerfs to anything. Like they just fixed something or they buffed it really significantly. So
those are positive quality of life changes, because at least from what I've seen, and I dabbled with Jury a little bit, they look like they were better, more consistent combos, and just making it more threatening in general. Like with stand medium punch, get an extra frame advantage. I think you're closer after the light pinwheel to make it more threatening. So stuff like that. Stand fierce, having more hit stun, so you can go into the heavy cartwheel or the heavy flip as well as the EX one. So it's just generally more consistent. Now, you mentioned top 5. Let me get your opinion. Who do you think the top 5 is in Street Fighter 5 right now, JustaKid? I'll get your answer, and I want to extend it to Docta Afrikan.
Top 5. Okay, top 5.
Talk to me.
First off, we already know the blonde man himself, Luke.
Okay.
Is right there. We already know. This is probably not in order. There's just like 5. But Zeku. Okay. I think Zeku's very strong.
You're like the third person who said that, because a lot of people do not talk about him these days.
Yeah, I think Sim's quite strong in this game still.
Okay.
I gotta think of the cast on top of my head.
I can put a name in your head and you'll instantly remember.
Okay, yeah, if you put a name in my head, I probably can
Poison's
really strongly, but
Poison's in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cheap character, she's broken.
Oh, don't worry. I'll have fun playing her.
What about Cody?
Right. Now, this is the interesting one. We got 4. I want to know what JustaKid's 5th character is in that top 5.
5th character, damn, that is, because I know there's been talks like, is Chun top 5? Is Karen still top 5? You know what? I'm not sure if this is necessarily like a hot take or anything, but I would probably put Balrog there, maybe.
That's not.
I don't
think that's a hot take. I don't think that's.
I think, like Pugera's been doing work in tournaments and everything, and other Balrog players are strong as well, and he doesn't really get changed much nowadays, and even with nerfs, like I know they nerfed the V-Sickle too, he's still strong. No matter what, he's still like same old. I think he even got better combos and better Oki and everything, so I think he's a pretty good character.
Interesting.
I don't think it's a hot take when you say it, but it's not a character I think a lot of people would just think of right now. But I think you just opened my head a little bit, I would say, and I see what you're saying, so I like this. But you would then consider Balrog stronger than Jury?
I think he's stronger than Jury.
He's definitely more ignorant than Jury, and
I think that's what helps. I think that's what helps in this game.
Yeah, ignorance actually plays a very big part in this game.
Yeah.
So
like if I can just be like, oh, I'm gonna just do something, and unfortunately your character can't stop it. It's like, what are you gonna do? And it works.
Okay, do you know what? I kind of respect that he's brought up Balrog and Zeku. That's interesting. But you know what? I got to extend this to Docta Afrikan. I can't leave him out of this conversation. We talk about top 5 characters. Docta Afrikan, first of all, like we said, thank you for joining us. But give me your top 5 if you can think of 5 characters.
Yeah, it's tricky because I think most people would agree with the top 4, at least for the most part. Very rarely is that not the case. So I would say by default, I've been playing a little bit of Poison myself this past week, and I can say for sure that I haven't felt that kind of power in a long time. So Poison for sure. I would have to say top 1.
Okay.
Zeku, I do agree, is going under the radar. I probably wouldn't have mentioned him until you mentioned him, David. But yeah, I agree. I think for sure Zeku is dancing around maybe the 4th spot or so. Then let me look over here. Sorry, I'm looking at the character list at the moment.
You got no Luke in there?
Oh, look, I'm so sorry.
I
suppose that was like a...
He never said it.
I suppose in my brain, it was just like maybe just by default. I just didn't have to say it, but no, like, look for sure.
Okay, so that's 3.
No, I think I agree with his top 4. Honestly, I think maybe the 5th spot is where it gets kind of tricky. This is where I get very careful because I don't want to just name a character just to fill in the spot.
Yeah, because look, there's sorry to interrupt you there. There's Chun-Li. There's Cody. Well, Cody's only recently come out. Obviously, people have been talking about his strengths in level 2 Zonk Knuckle for years now, but as a complete package, he's only cropped up recently in that conversation. Who else there? I still actually think Cammy and Karen are still up there as contenders. They're just not spoken about enough. I think Rashid is still up there, just like Zeku. Rashid always goes under the radar until the CPT comes back and it was like, yeah, man, I was talking about Rashid since... No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You're too worried about someone else, and you forgot about Rashid. So I think there's about 6 characters, maybe to 8
and Guile,
characters.
Maybe?
I would say
even
our Mika as well is going under the radar. I would say Mika.
You reckon?
I would say so. Yes,
Wow.
I think.
Do you know?
I think that mic buff.
Oh,
That mic buff was a mistake. That's what I think.
Could it be because you play Bison, who kind of struggles in?
Oh no, I've tried different characters, and I think generally speaking, either your character has a clean answer or they don't, and if they don't, then you're just in a really bad spot.
Do you know? I think that was this game in a nutshell, to be honest. Because this is why I didn't. Like the matchup talk became more of a discussion during lockdown period because there were no offline events, so we couldn't have concrete evidence. But the problem is, and I'm pretty sure everyone in this chat has realized this, is I'll use an example, right? If someone played against Balrog, right? If you couldn't punish light dash straight, it was a good matchup for Balrog. The moment you could punish light dash straight, I guarantee you, any Balrog player would have said that's a bad matchup. And it's like, wait, because of that one thing that 90% of the cast couldn't touch. And half the characters, mainly the top tier characters, do have that. They have a lot of tools that people can't deal with until that 1 or 2 characters come along. And they happen to deal with it, and it's like, well, it's a bad matchup now. It's not the end of the world, but it's what can be kind of defining. Something borderline defining there. So, I mean, it's been interesting to see. But you want to say something real quick, Docta Afrikan?
Oh, I will say that on that line of dancing top 5 characters, which is, I just kind of defined the 5th spot as characters that are able to win, despite who is slightly better than the other person, because it's so close usually that it doesn't really matter. And I think I would put Jury in there as well.
Okay. You really gonna be one of them?
Well, listen.
Hey, look, I was pretty fair about the statement, bro. It was a pretty fair statement. I said there were a list of characters that could fit in that spot, and I would say Jury might be in there.
Okay. And remember, you did say she got nothing but buffs, and like when you get nothing but buffs, I mean, like you can kind of slide up a list slowly. Not subtly, but you can start up a list slowly. But I mean, like, listen, I leave it open to the floor because, again, we can have these top 5, top 10 discussions, but it's in a good place when you can't decide which character to put in the 5th spot, which character to put in the 4th spot. Obviously, the top 2, everyone's just saying Luke and Poison. Like Latif, shout outs to Latif. I love that guy. He literally asked, I need a quick and easy answer to do something in Street Fighter 5. And everybody said Luke and Poison. Everybody said Luke and Poison.
But you know what? Touching that, though, Jammerz, I don't think that Luke is a great answer for someone to get quickly into it. Because he requires you to really understand the game, the Street Fighter 5, how the game plays. He's not one of those obscure characters that you can just get into. You need to learn the whole game to play him.
Now, let me, Veggey, this is what I wanted to ask you. And I asked this earlier today, and I couldn't believe what people said. Who do you think is an easier character to play, Luke or Poison? I know the answer.
I think Poison.
Thank you. Do you know people were telling me Luke's easier to play than Poison?
Nah. I mean, I know I joke a lot about Poison stuff with you, Jammerz, but if you're a good Poison, you're a good player, period. And that goes for any character, even if they're like super high tier or whatever. But I would say it's way faster and easier to learn Poison. She's so straightforward. She kind of forces her game plan in most matchups, so you don't have to learn many particular matchups, while Luke is more playing around you in many matchups, not you as Poison, but the character. He needs to have different strategies, different moves, and he needs to understand the basics of the game and how the game, because he's more of a normal character, while Poison is more like she's like Birdie's not really a normal character, Poison's not really a normal character, Bison's not really a normal character, because they play kind of with different rules that they impose on you. But Luke has to play by the general rule set, and I think it would take a lot more time to learn a character like Luke than a character like Poison.
I don't know, that heavy flash knuckle can be a bit obnoxious sometimes. But
Nah. V-shift, interrupt, neutral jump.
If you
risk
miss time
reward,
your
baby.
V-shift it, well, you're kind of in trouble. But that's just me. Anyway, right, you know what? Before we get too deep into this topic, I do have a question for Docta Afrikan. Now, Docta Afrikan, you've been doing content for, I think, quite a while now. Is it? I want to say it's more than 2 years. Is it safe to say that? You've been doing content?
Yeah, probably, but very on and off. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's super inconsistent. But yes, I do content sometimes.
Even if you say it's inconsistent, now this is just my personal opinion. And again, we're in the FGC. We basically drown ourselves in FGC content and news like on a daily basis or a somewhat daily basis. I do think Docta Afrikan has done some of the best content in the community. I mean, if you look at one of his pinned tweets, or if you look at his pinned tweet right now, that's brilliant. He done something. He done something based on
profile
Luke.
picture.
Yes, he done something. He done something based on Luke not too long ago when you're in the gym, and you done it as a video. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Docta Afrikan, you done it as well. Everyone's laughing at that, and I don't know how many people remember this. Docta Afrikan did a video. I think it was back in season 3. I think this was before the Capcom Cup finals. It might have been season 4. He did a video of everyone's worst nightmare. It was how everyone activated their V triggers at the time.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that was probably the funniest video you've done, because that is, for me, you make content that everybody can understand, viewers and players alike. I think some people make content that is catered towards their viewers, and some people just make it sure so other players can understand. I think you found a way in the middle. Now, my question is, do you think, and I'm talking about the Street Fighter community, not the community at large, do you think the Street Fighter community are missing a trick when it comes to producing content for the fighting game community?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, simplicity is very important.
Okay.
So if you, I don't know if you've seen any of my educational content.
I've seen the works every time. I've seen the works every time one.
Right. So that was old school EX Dojo stuff, which I've done something recently. If you want to just take a quick peep at the EX Dojo Twitter, like the pinned tweet, you see what I mean. And something that I think really needs to be pushed is just overall production quality. Not necessarily, high end stuff, but just, the simple things. Just, the angles and the cuts and stuff like that. I don't think enough of that is being utilized and being leveraged. But that's something that I kind of like to do. If I get inspired, you know, because the video comes out like almost instantly. But I think that most people don't necessarily do things because they're inspired. They may just do it because they're just trying to find a way to be funny.
Okay. Now, I like that, because I do feel that was a genuine, honest answer, because trying to, what's the term, fit in or fit the bill. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody. I think a lot of content that's being made is not genuine. At least for me, it's not genuine enough. At least when I watch what you're doing, I'm just like, yo, I can relate to that because I'm playing and watching and talking about the pin. And it's just like, okay, the pin tweet was funny, the Luke thing was funny because we don't like, I say we don't like him. A lot of people are not fond of Luke right now, whether it's you're a new Luke or sticking around with him ever since his inception in November. And he's going to be sticking around in Street Fighter 6, so get comfortable. He ain't going nowhere. So,
yeah.
But I just really wanted to pick your brains about that, because again, I think it's something that more people should probably rethink about when it comes to just producing content. But speaking of content, JustaKid, you've been doing more content recently. I want to ask, I know it's a vague question, but how's the content been going for you? Because it's a complete change up for you, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I tried doing content, I think either late or mid 2019, roughly. Yeah. Granted, all I had literally was a PlayStation 4 and I think a crappy laptop. so I couldn't really do much naturally. But
Gotta start somewhere.
I tried to do, yeah, you gotta do something. So I tried to do little itty bitty things like doing like, oh, you know, let me show off this jury combo or set or whatever, something simple. And then I try to use the editing software on there. And then I realized when I show off my friends, they're like, bro, this is so trash. Like, and they kept it real. I was like, yeah. Okay, give me, bro, this is like my first month with editing. Let me rock. And then I managed to get a better laptop. I did a bit more editing. Granted, I had simple software, but it was building up slowly but surely. And then, you know, I was able to understand, like, I call it like the algorithm of like YouTube. Like, some may pop off randomly, and it could be a funny little clip.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even do anything. I just said, oh, this is pretty funny. Let me just post it with a funny little title, and then all of a sudden it does numbers, and I'm like, how did this do numbers? And I'm like, it's better not to question what people watch. Just keep making it, because like for some reason there's a clip on my YouTube right now that's my most popular video, and I think it's about to reach 300,000 like views. Like, and it's from May, and I didn't do nothing special or nothing. I just posted it, and then people on here just commenting and liking it and everything. And then I kept going from there. I just kept going.
What was the video?
Yeah, what was the video?
It was literally me. Okay, the title is "Met a True Demon on Ranked," and this Kuma player, I'm not sure if he didn't want to play me or anything like that. He just kept DPing and jumping. So I was like, I am a DPU anti-air. And I kept doing it. Then I DP'd on his wake up because he kept waking up like DP. I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing it. And then that was it. That's it.
It's nearly 300,000 views of someone suffering because they don't understand the rules of Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, it's because I'm anti-airing them and they're waking up DP, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just not do the crazy stuff. I'm just DP you, and that's it. I don't understand.
Do you know what? I think I'll stick to what, because I haven't done content for a while, but I just didn't like how the algorithm dictated things and what people had to produce to kind of stay, I hate using this word, but you got to use it, stay relevant in their respective communities. Yeah. And you, like you said, you can't control what people watch, and that's kind of what grinds my gears a bit. I'm like, why are you watching this? This is nothing interesting. But again, numbers don't lie. They can be straight up facts. You can fabricate some numbers, but most of the time they're facts, so you just don't argue with it. And if it works and it's your most successful clip, may it be your most successful clip till the end of time. But that's just crazy to me. Right, it seems we have just run out of time for our pre-match interview. So we do have a lot of stuff to talk about, but we got to make sure these guys get the lobby and play a first 10, because I know that's what most people in the chat are here for. So guys, we are going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, I'm going to make sure Docta Afrikan and JustaKid are in this lobby for this first to 10. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back with you very shortly.
Oh yeah, you know I'm ready. Trying to read each other here? At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Hit them with a stopping block. More fuel for the fire. Cook them up. Breaking on them to lay down some damage without giving up ground. Drops them. Perfect parry. They got a feast on this chance. What now? Big this time to bust this out. Perfect damage calculation. No doubt about it. They are done.
いってみましょう。地上技で差し合う距離、リーチの差を生かすか、それを手玉に取るか。よく見ていた。さあ飛びはしっかりジャストで受け止めていく。体力はわずか、ゲージ差はある。ここはどう出る。インパクトは受け止めた。主導権の奪い合い、どちらが仕掛けるか。受け止めている。
Ooh, the ground impact hits for a punish! Player 1 can't win this without pulling the trigger! Noticeable life lead!
受け止めながら ここはダッシュを染み渡し出血大サービスだ。ダメージ計算ゲージ管理バッチリ。
Veggey 16.
I get that grind in, so I'ma tell the truth, I get my grind on. You know the pressure make all of these diamonds. I tell them get back, step back, fast track, big lap, big facts. I'm past that, yeah. I'm trying to get ahead, get out the way. Now move forward, stand back, now break away. I'm about to bring it on. I ain't never backing down. Come and step up to the plate. For my city, for my town. I do whatever it takes. I'ma go and get this round. I'ma go all of the round. See the sights, yeah. Let's go. Hop out and I'm scheming, ride around and I'm dreaming. Once I get the feeling, nobody can stop me. Hit it, I'm on go, fanning all you foes. Once I'm on the road, I'm knocking out of the door. I got the range. If you wanna come and stand up to me, pull up on me now. If you wanna challenge, tell me, rookie, run up on me now. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I ain't never backing down. Come and step up to the plate. For my city, for my town. I do whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to tonight's episode of Sets featuring JustaKid and Docta Afrikan. If you are just joining us, well, the set is about to begin. If you missed the pre-match interview, then you can go and catch the interview archives on the YouTube channel Capcom Fires. Just type it in on the search bar or subscribe to the channel already and the archives will show up later. But yes.
Or do both.
Do both. Make sure you do both.
Do both.
Now, we're going to get on to this set here. So first to 10 between JustaKid and Docta Afrikan. I see Dictator and Seth here, but it could be Dictator going up against Jury. I think this is the very first time I've seen JustaKid's new CFN handle. I am a bit worried, but he did tell me that he had a Twitch goal and it was reached. I think it was 50 subs or something, and I don't know what he's doing. Anyway,
sorry. Yes.
People paid for this CFN. I was very surprised he saved up 200,000 fight money for this this CFN name, but apparently he did it here. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is the first 10. Someone's asking who won. It looks like you've just joined us. The set has just begun, so you have actually come at the perfect time.
You win because you get to enjoy the set, Pepe Silva.
Yeah, I like Pepe Silva because most of the FGC don't show up on time. He did.
I mean, not really on time though. On time for the match, but not on time for the
Listen,
match.
when people turn on Capcom Fires, like where are the games? They're like where are the games? Yo, IFC Yikes, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying well. Treat yourself good. Right, so this is the first of 10, and yeah, it is Dictator going up against Jury. Now, I don't think we actually see this matchup much in Europe anymore. Veggey.
No, I mean, the Jury player we had has swapped over to Cammy, and then we have had a new Jury player appear, but there hasn't been that many like cross tournaments for us to see it, and they're not really entering the online tournaments weeklies, at least not at the same time. They've been in them, both of them, so we haven't gotten to see that since I think 2019 days, 2020 maybe. It's been a while, and I do think we need to ask Docta Afrikan about his handle as well, emotional damage, if that's related to his character choice.
I think I'll ask them both after this, because I actually didn't know these were their handles. But it's interesting that JustaKid has gone with V-Skill 2 in this match, rather than V-Skill 1. I thought he would have used V-Skill 1 for the with punish applications on Stand Fierce and the Psycho Axe as well, but he is the Jury specialist, so we've definitely got to ask him and pick his brains about that afterwards. It's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna see this for a lot. Oh, nice, but there's no cancel on that with punish. Might have to go for a different button or something. I'm not really sure what the crouch beating punch maybe something for Jury to go for in with punish situation, but he just took the damage there with Salmon Kick. Probably like muscle memory. You have it in there. You see something, you press, and see if that evolves into more damaging with punishes. I love this V reversal. Keep that lively going. There's only 15 seconds left. It's gonna be hard for Docta.
All right, and closes it out with the medium Fuijin stored, and he's got CA still there to boot. So let's see how this goes. I'm actually curious to see, because I know I've spoken about this with you before, Veggey, but I'm always curious about the guys who come on to the show in an extended set, how they utilize their meter over time, who has the meter advantage, who's got a really spend meter to get in, speak of the devil.
It's my turn to do some damage.
Well, I mean, I still think EX knee press is a very strong move. It's not the strongest EX move in the game. I still think it's
not
up
any longer,
there in terms of decency, in terms of the mileage anyway. That's a very good EX move as well. EX Fuji.
Yeah. Both good for activation and kind of good at just doing it, throwing it out there when you need something. And punishes, it's really long. You can punish things that are generally space safe, but Jury has kind of that privilege. And what a timing on the jump, just as Docta pressed the standing medium kick, and this is huge for just a foot lover.
I can't believe you confidently said that.
That's his name, that's his handle.
I know. Mashkana.
Oh, he definitely tried to backdash out of range for that sweep, but he was too late, and that's going to be big for Docta Afrikan.
No, he went for a meaty instead. I thought he could go for the cross-up Psycho Crush and get the round.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he believed that JustaKid would just be ready for it and be blocking reversal and didn't want to take that use the meter, just try to get the pressure going instead.
That was a frame trap there, but it's all safe on block regardless.
Yeah.
And he hasn't got any meter, but he's got Psycho Crusher to work with, but doesn't need it. Does the jab check, I think. JustaKid might have mistimed his activation from that heavy Fuijin, or he might try to cancel something.
Yeah, it looked like he was just a little bit too late on the whip punish. Maybe he wanted to save the activation for the follow-up pressure, but that's a big hit for Docta Afrikan, who's already got JustaKid in the corner. Tries to shimmy, but JustaKid is just too comfortable knowing that he doesn't get to throw him twice. It's kind of hard for Bison to get 2 throws without doing a lot of extra movement first. Good defense on JustaKid's side.
Well, you talk about good defense on JustaKid. Look at Docta Afrikan. He's got good defense as well. Didn't tech there.
Absolutely.
Good block on the cross-up, and see, a lovely defensive sequence, but he still gets opened up because that Mutual 1 dash is amazing.
It really is great. What a buffer. That was so good. Yeah, whip punish buffer doesn't really matter. And Docta's not ready for the empty low, but he did convert, so that's very lucky for him. He has a big chance of making something happen. JustaKid with only 1 bar on the defense. And no V-reversals, no V-shifts.
Oh. Is that an answer? Can he do that? Devil's Reverse?
Not sure.
I don't know, because I feel if the Fireball comes out and you go for Devil's Reverse, you kind of expose yourself to the anti-air. Okay, Psycho adds V reversals. Yeah. He needs a Fireball. Yeah, and that's it.
It's kind of big, and the delay on the crouching medium kick just didn't want to take any chance of getting hit by like reversal button, walk back something, or EXDP. Just waited, took his time, and as JustaKid thought that I'm safe now, it's my turn to start moving, the crouching medium kick came out, just like the perfect delay. And that's the timing thing we usually talk about, that sometimes it's not even about spacing, it's just about reading the rhythm and the timing of the opponent, which is something that JustaKid could have abused had he known. So it's something that could go back and forth throughout the set.
Yeah. Do you know, I'm kind of interested. Yeah, I just think a matchup here as well, I'm always worried about the first attack from these two. Because it's Jury wants to store the fireball, does Bison take the opportunity to use a heavy, but because of his slow walk speed, he might not get in range. If he takes the dash, he has to block something because Jury's recovered from trying to store the projectile. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So I think a first attack in this matchup is actually kind of a big deal.
It has been looking that way, as the first attacker has been winning the 2 last rounds before this one at least. Now it's closing in again, but it was JustaKid with the first hit, and he's still in a pretty good situation now. We need an activation. He reads the walk-up throw. He still gets the command throw after the line. I'm not sure if JustaKid knew that.
Okay, yeah, we saw Problem do that at Mix-Up in 2019 against Trashbox to beat the EX Bullhead.
Yeah.
On Wake Up. And it gives him good frame advantage as well, actually. So.
Yeah, I think JustaKid is just, he will always go for the stab medium kick. Just to, and there were situations now that he could have gone for a bit bigger with punish, and that's something we might see evolve as well. But I mean, when you're comfortable just taking the damage, at least stopping him, making him punish for something, and then could be ready for something else, it's something that will work out. Oh my days, the damage.
Expensive conversion, but it worked out. And V-Shift and V-Reversal, I think Jury's V-Shift might be better, or sorry, her V-Break might be better in this matchup against Bison than her V-Reversal. But her V-Reversal obviously allows her to score something safely. Alright, applying that pressure, going back to the neutral here, and again, exhibiting great patience here, Docta Afrikan. Got a considerable life lead to work with here as well, so this is why I'm very interested. I didn't even know you could absorb that.
Unfortunate, yeah. That was a little bit unfortunate there. He didn't get the conversion early and then try to dash after. But he finds another one on the reverse. Gets the activation. Tries to just stop any press. African so patient on defense.
And he just waits. That's it. And the thing is, it's like if he waits long enough, do you know what? I think that works on counter hit. I'm not sure if that works on regular hit. That might work on counter hit. Not dead yet. There it is.
He wasn't dead yet, but there it is. And that's that was a V skill 2 conversion.
Yeah,
Could
so
he have converted as good with the other V skill?
No, not with the other V skill. I think you would have to spend the bar on the EX reversal to end the combo. But what's interesting about her V skill 2 is, at least to me, is it's a V skill, a combo extender, a frame trap, but it also helps build that extra bit of meter in a game where meter building's kind of crazy in general anyway. So just having that little extra, and remember, they've changed up some of their combos. So she's got more ways to cancel into her CA. And the damage proportions on her CA have changed as well. So the last part does more damage than before. Before it was the first part that did the huge chunk. Now it's the last part that does the huge chunk.
Yeah. Oh, that's too close. I think he might have missed the confirm. I thought he was in the range for a buffer or something maybe. Nice. The throw to anti-air, but I mean, JustaKid still gets out of the corner. That's what he wants. And now it's dangerous with that V-skill, right? Because if he goes for those kind of frame trap things that he can't really do with the other V-skill, Docta Afrikan still has to kind of just block, even though they are negative and they are his turn.
The thing is, Docta Afrikan hasn't really been pressing. He's not even blocking, he hasn't teched yet. You know, a couple of interesting interactions so far, but because it's early, they can just gauge what the other person's trying to do before they commit to a strong defensive decision.
Nice spacing though on Docta Afrikan's side.
Oh yeah, all frame traps, baby. And he's in V-trigger, so he's in V-trigger, so he couldn't do like a V-shift into a break to kind of like generate some space, build up that great damage, gets the punish.
Yes, I love that he's ready. There's a lot of people that let that fly in the past, and I still think I've seen that. Like, they're not ready for the spin wheel, but that was just what Docta needed. And I guess had it been a hit...
I agree with you. I think that's awkward. I still think that's awkward to punish for quite a number of people. So.
You need to be ready for it when it's coming. Nice counter reconversion. Trying to keep the control, but when that fireball is, I kind of have to give up the space or get stuck in the throw mix-up after the dash. We've seen him parry with his V-skill a few times and then get the fireball, but we've also seen that baited and punished in the first game, so there's no clean answer. I like that he just backs up, tries to regain the space later. Everything is built up on JustaKid's side now, though. Nice usage of the V-skill.
Gets the throw. Goes back to neutral, throws out the fireball. No anti-air there from Docta Afrikan, but it was too close to even try and commit to anything big. But Bison's anti-airs, they did get changed. Or Crouching Fierce, it got better in the past couple of years, but it's still a heavy button. It's not like a Rose Crouch Fierce or a Luke Crouch Fierce, I can tell you that much.
Oh, nice dashing after the fireball there, JustaKid, and got the glow conversion as well. It's really great. Knocked down in the corner.
That's a punish, yeah, that's a punish, because that is -8. The two,
Yeah,
when the Cycle Crusher connects on 2 hits, the frame data can slightly change, but for the most part, it should be -8. And that was a punish.
Yeah, and
there.
some people get special, some people get normal punishes there, so that is definitely something to be aware of. Nice sweep into continued pressure with the fireball. Gotta guess, nice tech.
Oh, he tried to whip punish the Stand Fierce, but he's too far to get the first hit of EX Fujin to connect. And he gets whip
Docta
punished.
Afrikan. Yeah, Docta Afrikan needs to make something happen, and he has only a normal throw, and soon it's safe for JustaKid to just sit there. Nice delay check on the dash.
Nah, he's alright.
It's over. Yeah, it's done.
He'll block it out. And
Yeah,
the
to
thing
make
is,
something bigger happen right there.
there was too much health to kind of do something to what the Takuda did over the weekend to Fudo with the chip
Yeah, yeah.
situation. That was a great set to watch, by the way, Topanga.
Definitely.
All right, so there's a timeout. We might be here for the long haul. We're going to see if that's the first timeout we've got.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, we've seen some people talk about how buttons should be more plus on block to award offense, but what also happens is what we're seeing here, that the game slows down because the opponent has to respect that down forward fierce so much because of the plus frames that's gained from it, so we get a more of a stale match where people are more looking at the importance of spacing because they know they don't want to get into that down forward fierce range where that pressure will start from Bison.
Yeah, see, and he's not anti-airing again, so he gets a V reversal instead, but it didn't generate enough pushback from to breathe. But again, he's still at the health advantage here. Docta Afrikan, but he gets chased down.
That was such a good answer and read, because he could have gone for something else where he would have beaten the dash, but JustaKid just knew that that was what's going to happen. Puts
No, he pressed crouching medium punch. I'm not sure if that's what he wanted to do. He's expecting a dash, and they moved it a different way completely. And that jump in takes the third game and puts JustaKid in the lead 2-1. Now, I could be completely wrong, but at least from what I saw there, I understand that situation entirely. You're expecting one thing, your opponent moves in a completely different fashion, and you press the button that you were going to punish the first situation. So I think he was expecting the dash. That's what the crouch medium punch, or he might have fat fingered it, and he wanted to crouch fierce instead.
But I'm willing to bet that he is looking that, you know, that's forward movement, expecting a dash, but the forward movement went into a jump instead, and since he's done checking with these heavy, or not heavy, but these big buttons like a medium punch, and Jury has such great hitboxes in the air, it's just working out. It's not the first time, it's worked out earlier also. Oh, he had the right read on the shimmy, but pressed too early and just got thrown for his troubles.
Yeah. All right, meaty stand hard kick, didn't get crush counted, but now shoes on the other foot here. JustaKid slowly but surely finding his groove. Looks like that CFN name does wonders. Whip punish with the Psycho Axe, and he couldn't get close enough.
And I really like how JustaKid just walked back in case he was going to delay tech, but Docta Afrikan just too patient, finds the cross up this time. Nice V reversal, get out of dodge. There is still one more though.
He's got the tech against Jury, he's got it, and he tried to cancel again, and that JustaKid's been taking advantage of that. Punish.
But that one, I think that flip was definitely punishable. The like a normal flip there, just
it might have missed his button.
Maybe.
It might have missed his
sometimes
button.
she's just not expecting it to, right? Oh, now he has the fireball charge. Great position to be in for Docta Afrikan, but be wary about the EX flip, right? That must be what Justa is pumping.
Yeah, it's minus
I'm just thinking like reactionary, and there it is as he presses it. That's definitely not something done on reaction. He just did it, and that is one of, I think, Jury's strength, that she has a lot of these just do it moves to close out or get something important. And I think we also found the answer why he's hesitant at anti-airing, because it could be that range where that anti just won't work.
Well, I mean, it is -2 on block. And like, be thankful it's not an overhead. You can combo from it, but again,
yes,
it is something that can catch a lot of moves, and Bison does use a lot of specials and heavies in the neutrals. It can be a bit difficult. Gets the punish with the V-shape. Bison looking good. He's getting better at it. Oh! Commentator says, is he going to reversal now? Not quite.
Oh, he finds another hit, and he has the activation as well. Nice patient from JustaKid, not teching. He did the old school shimmy. Docta Afrikan comfortable taking throw again. He would be comfortable doing it. JustaKid's not really sure if he can open him up that way. Something to put in for later. That dash Just try to check it earlier. Maybe he's a little bit deterred now, Jammerz, from those jump-ins earlier.
I'm surprised Docta Afrikan has not used. He's dead anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. I think you're going to see this a fair bit. Probably throughout the set, it might, they might pick up the pace in this department. They might slow it down a bit and try and use this in specific scenarios or moments in the match. But I think these guys are going to catch each other out with a lot of specials. From the looks of things. And he had to spend the bar to get that round, Docta Afrikan, so he wants to try and equalize. He's got to get this round. I haven't actually seen EX Psycho Blast from him yet. I haven't seen that move yet.
There might be a reason for it that we'll get an answer to at some point if he's flustered enough and feels like he needs to do something different. But he has had great conversions from the Stand Fierce and confirmed them very nicely. And that's kind of why he's in the lead in this round with the start Stand Fierce. Nah, he's just pressing him down, and I don't think just the once a V reversal needs a V trigger to make some kind of damage comeback. Just V reversal might not be the best idea. Nice patience from Docta.
And then he's going to activate. Yeah, and he's going to take throws. I think JustaKid has seen enough scenarios or done that enough times to figure out that Docta Afrikan is just going to take throws from that scenario. You can V-shift it before it actually connects, but I don't think he wants to spend the meat right now.
Oh, did he read something there? Just threw it out. Oh, lovely spacing on JustaKid, just out of block range.
Yo, this
and gets a great conversion. This is huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot.
Still doable though for Afrikan. And there's that first Psycho Blast.
And it cancelled it out. Okay.
Yeah, that was such a great move from JustaKid. That's when you see the character specialists at play, when they have answers for everything. He tries to read something again.
Oh,
no, that's huge.
Why did he take that? Oh,
maybe.
Stand medium kick. Stand medium kick doing work. It's going to do work again. It's going to do work again. Oh, no.
He might try to bait him to do something.
Look at that. This looks terrible for Bison.
Yeah, he needs to do something. There's 8 seconds left. He's trying to find the
skill 2 actually stopped the head press from connecting. Yo, I actually thought Docta Afrikan was going to take that one. I legit
After you saw him fly in the air, right?
Yeah, I thought,
yeah.
He's gonna catch
because that beats so many things.
Yo, okay.